幻の中の平和などごまかしだ。現実の世界で成し得てこそ意味がある。
なるほど。命はいらぬということか。
Gaara enters Jump Force as a shinobi with the ability to manipulate sand for both offense and defense. Gaara is a Jinchuriki, a human with a tremendous amount of power granted by a tailed beast seal within them. Having this incredible power from such a young age led to many within his village fearing him. Being so isolated caused Gaara to lash out. He was hateful toward his village and all humans, and wasn't afraid to kill anyone who stepped in his way. This changed when Gaara met Naruto, another Jinchuriki who found purpose within positivity and friendship. With someone being in the same shoes as him, Gaara found it best to emulate Naruto's outlook on the world, as he finally had someone who understood him, and now Gaara uses extraordinary abilities to protect alongside his friends and attempt to mend the transgressions he has committed. Gaara's sand abilities are tied into the tailed beast within him, Shukaku. This grants him the power to freely manipulate sand to defend, attack, or immobilize targets. Whilst giving Gaara a great deal of combative versatility, he's not very confident in his physical abilities. Instead, Gaara uses his powerful defensive ninjutsu to stay in place and attack from afar. In Jump Force this is all the same. Gaara plays a defensive playstyle, using his abilities to keep the opponent at bay and giving him ample time to know how he wants to approach the fight. I'd classify Gaara as an offensive zoner, having enough potential to zone from afar, but generally gets better value from mid-range pressure and punishes. He also has great supportive capabilities for a number of reasons we'll go into later. Gaara's first ability is called Sand Shower. Gaara stands in place, summoning a wall of sand in front of him and firing several small projectiles. These are fired rapidly, have long range and deal good damage. The sand wall Gaara summons in front of him can hit and damage the enemy, making it even easier to confirm into this ability. It also knocks them back slightly. Holding down the right trigger, which we'll now call the ability button, Gaara can extend the duration of this ability, firing more projectiles and dealing more damage. This is a great combo tool for Gaara's kit. It's incredibly easy to combo into, and using an assist allows you to combo after it. The recovery isn't long, but it's long enough that Gaara can't do anything after using it. You and your opponent will pretty much be neutral. Only costing 1 bar, this is probably Gaara's best ability. It's very versatile and easy to use in combos. It also deals good damage on hit, or keeps the opponent blocking for a while on block. Gaara's second ability is called Sand Tsunami. Gaara stands in place, taking a few seconds to conjure the ability. After waiting a few seconds, Gaara sends forth a powerful wave of sand, covering a large area with range and width. This ability has a slow and telegraphed startup. This can make it difficult to use in close range or in combos. Using Gaara's third ability, you can easily land Sand Tsunami, and using an assist you can combo after the ability, although usually it's one or the other. Despite the good damage and large radius, this ability is practically useless when Gaara is alone or doesn't have a lot of energy charged. Holding the ability button delays the attack but doesn't change the damage. I've never found a reason to do this. I suppose it could keep an inexperienced player blocking for longer in anticipation. Sand Tsunami takes about 2 to 4 seconds to charge depending on how long you hold it for. Despite some of the difficulties of using this ability, it only costs 1 bar and it may or may not reset combo scaling. It was difficult for me to find a conclusive answer on that. Also, if you switch character as soon as you use Sand Tsunami, Gaara will continue channeling it, so that may catch your opponent off guard. Gaara's third ability is called Sand Coffin Sand Burial. Gaara spawns an unblockable clump of sand at the opponent's position. This can hit them anywhere on the map, but can be easy to dodge if the opponent is vigilant. Upon being hit, the opponent will be stuck in the sand coffin for about 5 seconds, where they cannot do anything whatsoever, though Gaara can do as he pleases. You can use this time to charge energy, create space, or combo into another ability. It's not too difficult to combo into, but it is very restricted, so take some time to learn how this ability works. Once the 5 seconds are up, the opponent will fall out of the sand coffin and white out, meaning that you cannot do anything to them whilst they recover. However, by activating this ability again whilst the opponent is in the sand coffin, Gaara will manually release them, doing a decent chunk of damage and allowing you to follow up with assists. Each activation of this ability costs 2 bar to use, so if you capture the opponent and then manually release them, you'll be looking at a 4 bar cost, which generally isn't worth it for the amount of damage. This ability definitely requires a lot of practice. Mastering this will make Gaara the most oppressive force in the field, so learn how to best use your extra time in the right scenarios. Gaara's awakened ability is called Grand Sand Mausoleum Seal. Gaara calls forth the tail beast within him, Shukaku, firing out a stream of projectiles and then capturing the enemy within the Mausoleum Seal before releasing and dealing a large amount of damage. The stream of sand projectiles is pretty much instant, but it's perfect to punish attacks with this ability. It's also very easy to combo into using Sand Coffin or just normal attacks. Another thing this ability does is separate you and your opponent about halfway across the arena, so if you ever need to create space quickly, this could be a way of doing it. For Gaara's assist, he uses his first ability, Sand Shower. The fast activation of this ability makes it very easy to use in combos, whether it's starting, extending or even ending combos. It's also good to keep the opponent blocking so that you can charge for energy or make some space. The damage is very low, so be mindful of the situations when you want to use this assist. The versatility of Sand Shower, and by extension this assist, make it useful for any type of character, whether you're using it defensively or offensively. There's no way to extend this assist for it to deal more damage, but on its own it's a great assist for any playstyle and situation. Gaara can take an interesting approach to combat, being able to seamlessly move from offense to defense with ease. Whilst his moveset might seem to encourage a static zoner playstyle, the application of this ability says otherwise. Gaara can do well at all ranges, typically the mid-range is where you want to be, as this eliminates as many disadvantages Gaara has with his abilities, while still enforcing the advantages. One thing I must stress is that Gaara is incredibly underwhelming without the use of assists. With assists his moveset becomes extremely versatile, but without assists he's incredibly static. I typically only use Sand Shower within combos, but it can also be used to punish and lead into a combo with an assist. Sand Tsunami is free to use after a successful Sand Coffin at the right range. If I ever want to use Sand Tsunami in the neutral, I'll do so with my next character at the ready, so I can switch over to them if the opponent puts pressure on me. Sand Tsunami is basically useless without using assists beforehand. You probably won't land it. It can also be good against inexperienced players, as they likely won't know how to stop this ability, forcing them to block for the duration, but typically Sand Shower is better if you want to force a block. Sand Coffin is definitely Gaara's best tool to defining a good player. How you use this ability will depend on how quickly you can assess the situation. Those 5 seconds run down very quickly, so you need to be efficient with either extending a combo with Sand Tsunami, Grand Sand Mausoleum Seal, or a manual release into assist. The extra time is also perfect for charging energy or creating space. Mastering Sand Coffin is easily the best way to becoming a great Gaara player, and even allows Gaara to be somewhat self-sufficient, although requiring high energy costs. His Awaken ability is great for creating space and incredibly easy to combo into, so use that as you see fit. If used for utility rather than damage, have a plan at the ready so you can continue playing defense or offense. Learn the ins and outs of Gaara's moveset to become incredibly oppressive on the field. The difference between a new and experienced Gaara player is staggering. Gaara's gameplay is interesting. On the one hand, he has all the trademarks of a defensive zoner, and even though he can do that if he wants to, Gaara also has the potential to become aggressive. I'd recommend Gaara to someone who wants to play offensively with assists, while still having solid defensive tools to fall back on. Anyone willing to spend some time in training mode to learn all of Gaara's moves and how they can connect in different situations should enjoy this character. Alone, he's no showstopper, but knowing the best situations to call Gaara in or out and using assists can make him a core element in any team comp. That's why I love this character. Guys, this has been the character overview for Gaara. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.